Josh Warrington's fight in Ceylan is quite an intriguing fight, and for Josh, it's a real point of his career. You know, where he's got it all to go for. He can't afford to lose. He wins this, he becomes the mandatory to Selby, and we've worked very hard to get him in that position. And he's also done the business in the ring. So now he's now on the cusp of grabbing a world title fight, and he can't afford to slip up. So it's quite an important moment for him, an important moment for all his fans, because obviously they'll be willing him on. He's a fantastic ticket seller, so I think there's going to be some great atmosphere there, and we'll all be keeping our fingers crossed that Josh can do the business and come through it.
Also on the card featuring Zefs, Barrett and Leon Woodstock, two of your up-and-coming, well, say they're prospects. They've had enough fights to come out of that prospect phase now, but these are two really special talents, Woodstock and Barrett. Well,
they are. You know, I don't think Zefs I wouldn't look at him now as a prospect. I think he's quite establishing himself now, and he was very unlucky not to be voted Boxing Writers' Young Boxer of the Year. You know, in fact, he is undefeated and he is a young boxer, but he's got a decent fight. He's fighting Chris Conwell. It's it's not going to be an easy job for him, but he is looking good, and hopefully comes through and wins the English super featherweight title. So we're keeping our fingers crossed on that. And at the same weight, we've got Leon coming through. He's obviously not had as many fights, so at the moment he is a prospect. But you can see him, if he comes through, fight against Poxton. You can see the pair down the road having a career-defining fight for both of them. I can see that happening. You know, they're the same weight. They're both fantastic young fighters, and I honestly do think maybe in 18 months' time or so we'll see them in a super fight between the two of them.
Now, November the 11th, we see the highly anticipated rematch between the two Liams, Liam Smith and Liam Williams, and it was so controversial, that first fight, and it was action-packed until obviously the fight ended, but there needs to be some kind of conclusion in Newcastle on November the 11th, Frank.
Yeah, in some ways it's got a bit, although I think it was a much better fight than George Groves and Carl Frock, it's a much better, for me, a much better fight, and I think that, as you say, a lot of people think it was inconclusive. There was just a moment in time where people think the fight was changing, going from Liam Williams going towards Liam Smith's favour. We don't know. The cut changed all that. We will find out though. We'll find out on the 11th of November, and I think we're going to be in for another cracker. I mean, there's genuinely no love lost there between either of them for whatever reason. I'm not saying that's a reason, that we want boxers not to like each other. I mean, sometimes that just drives you crazy or whatever. I mean, generally, for some reason, there's no love lost there. Hopefully after the fight they'll be best pals. But I think we're going to see something a little bit special on the night. Absolutely something special.
And this is real toe-to-toe action in the closing seconds of a dramatic ninth round. What a round! What a round!
Now, Frank, obviously recently you announced a huge announcement that Carl Frampton has joined your stable, will headline Belfast on November the 18th, and as in your words, what a cracking signing that is.
Well, it is a cracking signing. I'm really delighted. I mean, everybody was signing last week, signing fighters up. Our opposition was signing fighters up in America, but I think we signed the one that mattered, and that was Carl Frampton. I'm delighted he's on board with us, and I'm delighted he's on the show on the 18th of November. He's going to have a 10-rounder, maybe a 12-rounder, but probably a 10-rounder. He's with Jamie Moore's his new trainer, so he wants to bed down with him, so get that fight out of the way. But we've got two superb world title fights on there. We've got Jamie Conlon, we've delivered for him. He's fighting against Yerwin and Cassius, I think I pronounced that correctly, from the Philippines, who's a good fighter. Jamie's going to have his hands full. But Jamie Conlon's never, ever, ever in a dull fight, always in a great fight. So he's in front of his home fans. He's got the world title in his hometown, so that's going to be great. And we're taking Zefs Tete there, our gladiator. He's going there. He'll fight anywhere, as you know. He'll fight you in your front room. We couldn't get Ryan Burnett to get involved in unification with him, so he's going there to show the Belfast fans this is the guy that he won't fight. So Zefs Tete's going to his backyard, say, I'll come and fight you here. You won't fight me, but I'm going to show your fans, I'm going to show Belfast what I'm made of. And as you say, with Carl on there, making his debut, setting himself up for big fights next year, it's going to be exciting. And we can't forget Paddy Barnes, he's going to have another title fight. And we're looking to do John O'Carroll in a title fight. So there's 5 title fights on that bill, so that's going to be quite interesting.